everybody, good afternoon. My name is Vinu Venkatesh. Welcome to another lecture with me on the English language for SAI Education Group. We're going to talk about the rules for time and tenses today. It is lecture number 15 and what say we start? So the first rule is basically that simple present or present indefinite, that is the verb form V1, which is present tense plural form, and V5, which is also present tense singular form. These verbs or these tenses, first of all, simple present and present indefinite mean the same thing. So this tense is used for number one, habitual, repeating or routine actions, such as he bathes the dog every morning. We cannot use any other form of tense, any other form of the verb or tense, because it's going to be wrong. We cannot say he is bathing the dog every morning. It is he bathes the dog every morning. Similarly, it rains heavily in June every year. It's a habitual or a repeating action, right? Because it's happening every year in June. It's wrong to say it is raining heavily in June every year. That is wrong. Similarly, for maxims or maxims are basically universal truths, sayings and adages. We always have to use a simple present, or also called the present indefinite. For example, the earth revolves around the sun. It's wrong to say the earth is revolving around the sun, because we know that this is a universal truth, so it is a simple present. Similarly, the sun rises in the east, or the sun, it's wrong to say the sun rose, the sun rose in the east. That is in the past. It means it's not going to repeat again. But if it's a habitual action, or if it's a maxim or a saying or a universal truth, we always have to use simple present or present indefinite. So the next rule is on the present perfect tense. So what is present perfect tense? What this rule is saying is that whenever we use words such as so far, recently or never, we have to use a present perfect tense of the verb. Present perfect tense is nothing but has or have plus the V3 form of the verb. Remember, we talked about the V3 form. V3 form is the form such as where we use words such as eaten, played, gone, etc. So whenever there are words such as so far, recently and never, we have to use this form, that is has or have plus V3. For example, so far, doctors have saved 1,000 lives during the pandemic. So this is not a past perfect. Past perfect would be had saved. But now we are talking about present perfect. Okay, present perfect means until now. This sentence is saying until now the doctors have saved 1,000 lives during the pandemic. Okay, next. Now suppose if we have actions which have started in the past but which are still going on, we have to use a present continuous tense. And what is present continuous tense? Present continuous tense is nothing but has or have or had plus been plus the verb ing form. What is the verb ing form? That is a V4 form, remember? So for example, the sentence is Ram has been living in this flat for 2 years. So what this sentence means is Ram moved into this flat 2 years back, but from that time till now he is still living there. So to describe such actions, describe such situation, we have to use a present continuous. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's the perfect continuous tense. Meaning we have to say Ram has been living in this flat for 2 years. Okay. I can also say normally, in these kind of situations, we use the word since or for. Meaning, whenever you see the word since or for in a sentence, we generally use the perfect continuous tense. What do since and for mean? Since and for mean that from a particular point in the past, the action has started and it is still going on. Okay, COVID has been disturbing us since March 2020, correct? COVID started in India in March, but it is still going on, isn't it? So I can say COVID has been disturbing us since March 2020. Okay, now next rule. So whenever there is an adverb of time, what is an adverb of time? Adverb is any word that describes the verb. So an adverb of time tells us when the action took place. Okay. Whenever there is an adverb of time, we have to use the simple past or the past indefinite. That is the V2 form of the verb. So for example, the principal changed the exam date yesterday. So here yesterday is the adverb of time because it tells us that it was yesterday that the action took place, that the principal changed the exam date. So in such sentences, we cannot say the principal had changed the exam date yesterday. No, we just have to use a simple past and say that is the V2 form and say the principal changed the exam date yesterday. Okay. Now, in sentences where there are phrases used such as it's time, it's high time, or it's good time, again we have to use a simple past. For example, it's high time you studied for the exam. It's time he took the COVID test. There's no need to say it's time he was taking the COVID test, or it's time that he, any other form of the verb. That would be wrong. You simply have to use the simple past. Okay, you just have to memorize these rules. There's no additional explanation for this. Now coming to the next rule. Okay, what does it say? In conditional sentences, two future tenses cannot be used. The condition has to be in present tense, simple present, or in the past perfect tense. Okay, so what are these kind of sentences? Sentences such as Mohan will go to the US if he gets a job. Now first of all, is this a conditional sentence? It is. It's clear, isn't it? So what does this rule say? This rule says that in such kind of sentence, we have to use the simple present or the past perfect tense in the condition part of the sentence. What is a condition part? If he gets a job. So here we cannot say if he will get a job. We have to use a simple present or past perfect. The case where we use past perfect tense we'll discuss in another lecture. Right now we'll stick to the simple present use. Okay. Similarly, I will go to Ooty only if I have money. So this is also a conditional sentence. And what is a condition? If I have money. So this rule is saying here we already have a future tense, will go. This rule is saying we cannot use I will have money in the condition in this kind of a sentence. There can never be two future tenses in the sentence, and the condition has to be always in the simple present or the past perfect. Okay, so that's why we say I will go to Ooty only if I have money. What is have? It is the V5 form. Now last rule, rule number 7. What does it say? It says that for verbs such as admire, love, understand and trust, we cannot use the V4 form of the verb. V4 is continuous tense. That is a ing form. We can use another form of the verb can be used. Example, it's wrong to say I am believing the newsreader. It should be believe because that is the verb believe, and with believe we cannot use a continuous or the V4 form. We can use any other form of the word. Next example, I loved the food at Lulu Mall. This is right. The V2 form of the verb which is acceptable. So this brings us to the end of the lecture. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Until next time, wish you all the best and take care.